Playmakers, how's it going? This is Coach Wood, and I am ready, baby, to get back with you. Another amazing episode of content. We've been rocking and rolling this week, so if you haven't caught all of our Weekday Huddle episodes, make sure you run them back. Make sure that you go back, check out the topics that we've been talking about, because a lot of it probably pertains to you young football players out there, maybe you family members of football players out there. There's some value back there. There's some value for you to grab. So thank you for tuning in today. If you tune in every day with me, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This is a labor of love. Come in, give our heart, serve, and get out, baby. That's how the huddle rolls. And then if you're joining us for the very first time, welcome. This is the Before You Go Pro channel. I'm your host, Coach Wood, and this is where we talk football. So if you love to talk some football, if you love to learn about the industry and how to navigate through the industry, then this is the place to be, baby. If you enjoy the content that you hear today, please consider hitting that subscribe button, doing Coach a solid, and helping us grow this community. That would be absolutely amazing. This is my Friday. That would make my Friday, baby. Then also check out the resources that we have down in the description box for you. Those are some goodies to help you get to the next level, help you separate from the competition. All right, so let's get into today's topic. And this is a good one. We always bring things that I'm thinking about, things that we're going through with the student athletes that we work with, because if they're going through it, a lot of you guys are probably going through it. And then, of course, things that we hear from parents are just trending topics in the industry. Also, keep in mind, I'm not an armchair person. I actually lived this game for many moons, and have been through my own trials and tribulations through football. So sometimes we will uncover some of those things and the nuggets of advice that I can grab from my journey. That book back there covers a lot of that right there. So let's get into today's topic, ladies and gentlemen. And today's topic is about the difference. It's about the difference in perks that the athletes back in my day may have enjoyed compared to the athletes today, the perks of the young superstars that are getting after it today. And when I really think about it, you guys, there's not too much of a difference. There's not too much of a difference. Obviously, every day has its inflation. It has its natural inflation that comes with it. But we took the charter flights just like these athletes take the charter flights. We got the sweatsuits and the bowl gifts, or now they go to the playoffs. But I played in the BCS championship. On the back of that helmet, there's a BCS championship logo, which is basically like going to the playoffs today. So we got all the perks of going to the BCS championships. And obviously, there's just natural social things that take place. You might get into that establishment and not have to wait in line like everybody else. You might be able to go get your books a little bit sooner than everybody else in school. So a lot of the perks of yesteryear are the same perks that the athletes receive today. However, the big 2,000-pound gorilla in the room is the money. It's the NIL, and it's the money. And also, it's the transfer portal. So when you add the transfer portal with the money, you get a lot of athletes that are willing to leave schools very, very quickly. They're willing to go dip their toe in the water at Florida, and then they're off to the next school. They're willing to go ski down the slopes at Colorado, and then they're on to the next school. So with the NIL and the portal combined, you get a lot of kids that don't stay at schools very long. So on the yesteryear side of things, the one that's probably different, not for all of them, because there are some very smart athletes today and athletes that are consistent and they're able to stay at the school that they're currently at. So there are some athletes that do get both, that get the money and they get what my generation got. And what my generation got was the relationships and the network. So when you really think about the difference between today's athletes and yesteryear's athletes, my people and beyond, the biggest things, now, obviously, even back in my day, there were a few people that got a couple of dollars under the table, but I'm talking about the masses. I'm talking about the masses. The biggest difference, you guys, and the main difference, I mean, we all had scholarship offers and people got degrees and everything. The biggest difference is the money and the relationships, i.e., network, you guys. So, which one would you rather have? That's the question. And I would love to hear that question really responded to from athletes from the past. Because the athletes of today, they're in the thick of it. They're in this new world of NIL portal. And a lot of them may not even value or really know the value of the relationships and the network. But that was the main thing outside of the degree that my generation could get. That was like the icing on the cake. Obviously, we all wanted to play big time college football, but the icing on the cake was the degree and was the network and relationships. So for you athletes of yesteryear that couldn't partake in NIL, which one would you prefer? Which one would you prefer? Do you feel like your relationships and the network that you were able to build from the university that you went to, the football program that you played for, that those connections and those people that you can pick up and call, those people you can text, those people you can hit on social media, is that more valuable to you? Has that brought you more good in your life, more leverage in your life, where you're like, hey, I wouldn't want to lose that just for money? I wouldn't want to lose all of that just for money. Or are you on the other side of it where you're like, hey, I could make relationships and figure it out even if I don't maybe have strong roots at a school, as long as I have the money, as long as I have that Kickstarter financial platform where I can get to where I need to go and figure it out with maybe not the relationships from my university. I'm totally fine bouncing around to 2 or 3 schools as long as you cut me a check. As long as you cut me a check. Are you on board with the new school way of thinking where it doesn't have to be about loyalty? It doesn't have to be about how many people I can call down the road. Just cut me the check. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to figure it out as long as I have a good substantial amount of money in my account. I'm willing to bounce around. It's okay. Are you from that ilk? Are you from that camp where you're willing to go to 2 or 3 schools and maybe not have any long-term relationships? The guys that I went to school with, a couple of them are the godparents of my kids. Guys that I played with in college, godparents of my kids, guys I stayed with for 4 years, that I really grew relationships with, been in their families' homes, know their families, can contact their families, just real relationships and network. Would I want to throw all that away? I stayed with my roommate for 5 years. Shout out Victor Rogers, my brother. I love you to death, brother. 5 years. That was my roommate. Would I throw that all away, all of those memories, all those moments, that bond that was built, would I be willing to throw all that away for $200,000, $500,000? And not have anybody to call. I've had people on our show, on our locker room show, a part of our content that is a part of my college network. Many people. Teammates and friends. I've had connections where I've been able to leverage young athletes that we work with. We just had an athlete take a trip to UC Davis, an amazing FCS program. The athletic director I know from college. So I was able to call the athletic director from UC Davis and say, hey, one of my kids is on campus, go say hello. And he sure did. Strong relationship because I was in college with him for so many years. We're brothers. We're buffs. You guys. Now he's an Aggie, but you get my point. So would I be willing to throw all that away for extra money right out of the gates in my bank account? Me personally, I would say no, but do you really know? Because I'm saying no based off of knowing how critical the leverage is and how critical some of the relationships and the network I have is. We've had people that I went to college with that have invested in me and my family. So it's like I cannot easily just say that I would throw that away for a few dollars. But if you're an athlete today, you sitting there with $200,000 in your bank account, $500,000 in your bank account. If you're Jordan Seaton, who left my alma mater to go LSU, you're sitting there with millions in your bank account. Your roots may not be as strong. You may not be able to call on Coach Prime down the road, but you got millions in your bank account. So you athletes from yesteryear that end up checking out this content, what would you rather have? Would you rather have it like the athletes of today, where you get to the cream of the crop, you get paid like the cream of the crop, or would you rather have it like you had it back in the day, where you got the scholarship, you got the perks, but there was no check. You had to go to the NFL to get the check. The fruit was maybe the degree and also the relationships and network that were going to serve you the rest of your life. Which one would you rather have? So that is a very, very interesting thing to think about. And once again, for you athletes today, don't think it has to be either or. I know that we see a lot of either or, where the athletes are ripping and running to the next school to go get to the money. But in the perfect world, the first spot is the last spot. Don't forget that that's still an option. The first spot is the last spot. And the reason why that's so beautiful is because you can really build relationships. You can really build a network. Maybe you take a little bit less money to have both. To have some money, but also to really, really build some relationships and some network. Think about it. Think about what's best for you. If you ever have any questions, any thoughts, if you ever have anything extra from content that we're covering, you want to go a little bit deeper, do not hesitate to reach out, because that's what this is all about. That's what the Weekday Huddle is all about. But I want to hear from the OGs. I want to hear from the old schoolers. Networking relationships or money in the bank? You guys tell me which one's better. All right. Hit that description box so you can check out those resources. And then also, please make sure you subscribe. We are very close to 1,000 subscribers, and we're about to get over the top within the next month, you guys. So please be the one to help us out. I'm Coach Wood. We'll see you at the top.